Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Grand Tactician, the American Civil War. Actually, I think it's just Grand Tactician, the Civil War, and we are looking at our Confederate Let's Play series. As a reminder, because it has been a little bit, this series is going very well for the Confederacy. For yours truly, I will go down as a better general than Napoleon. Well, I guess I'm not actually any of these generals. I'll go down as a better Supreme Commander? I don't know. Washington, D.C. is in our hands, so obviously that's huge. Baltimore is also in our hands. Most of Maryland is in our hands. If we actually change the filters here in the Eastern Theater, you can see the vast majority of Maryland is in our hands, all the way up to like the Pennsylvania border. There's this like weird little occupation of sort of central Pennsylvania. I don't understand that, but my theory is at this point, the Union's not surrendering. Doesn't seem like they're getting any closer to surrendering despite continuous victories for yours truly. We may need to drive on Philadelphia, guys. We may need to take Philadelphia. That's the new federal capital. It's just up the road, so we could do it. The problem is the Federals have moved considerable forces down onto our left flank. We have 2 corps here in the center, 1 corps out here on the left flank. The Federals have at least 2 corps of soldiers here. About 7,500 men, the 1st Corps of the Army of the Cumberland, and then the 4th Corps of the Army of the Potomac, another 16,000 men, going up to 19,000. So we got about 25,000 troops on our left flank. The 3rd Corps, in theory, could probably handle that if we get just a couple of reinforcements. We have raised some new troops in the Army of Virginia, which had been at Richmond, but we brought them up to garrison D.C. kind of. We got about 8,000 men. So we could transfer some of those to the 3rd Corps. And then we could push north with the 1st and the 2nd Corps, both combined have about 50,000 soldiers. We could probably deal with this. It says claiming the Army of the Potomac is 94,000 men. I don't know where all that is. There's 27,000 in the 1st Corps. So there could be a lot of men between us and Philly. But if we can get there, that could be a game changer. If you will. If we move to the Western Theater here, we've got about 50,000 men in the Army of the Tennessee. We have spent the better part of the last few months recouping because we did lose quite a few troops in a couple of battles in Kentucky. So all 3 corps in this Army of Tennessee of about 52,000 men are good. They are green and ready to march. So one thing worth mentioning for that Eastern Theater Army where I mentioned like, let's drive on Philadelphia. Well, we probably can't do that yet. You can see the readiness level here of the headquarters in the Northern Virginia is not good. It is whatever. It's the lowest level of readiness possible. The 1st Corps is a little bit better under Robert E. Lee. They're mediocre readiness, so they could push forward if we need them to. Major General John Magruder's 2nd Corps is also mediocre, but I'd like to get those readiness levels into the green up to, ready. The 3rd Corps is ready to fight. It's in excellent shape. It's been largely garrisoned here in the western portion of Virginia for a while now, and so they could move whenever. It is February, though, so we probably want to wait to campaign out east until the weather gets a little bit better and campaigning season opens up. The problem with that is if they're raising 90,000 soldiers in the Army of the Potomac, many of those troops will be ready by the time we are ready to move. Anyway, so we've got about 50,000 soldiers all ready to fight in Tennessee, and the weather looks reasonable in Tennessee. It's cold, I guess. It's in the 30s, but the ground isn't all snowy and frozen, so maybe in another month or so we can move there. We also have the Army of the West. We've got Johnson's Corps of about 17,000 men along the Mississippi River. The Federals do have a pretty, this is just a glob of troops. It's hard to tell what's here. At least 14,000 there, 23,000 there. So they've got at least 2 corps with about 37,000, maybe another 4,000 in the Department of the West. So probably about 40,000 men along the Mississippi. We might need to move Pemberton's Corps. I think what we might do is take Pemberton's Corps, 13,000 men, move them west to operate with Johnson's Corps. That'll give us about 30,000 men along the Mississippi and have them join the Army of the West. That will pull the Army of Tennessee down in terms of its manpower closer to about 40,000 men. But that might be the right strategy. For the moment, they're kind of holding sort of the central axis between these 2 forces. And then in St. Louis, the Porterfield's Corps of about 13,000 men currently occupies that important city. So that's good for us. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if there's enemy armies in here, but there's like this weird wedge in in Missouri here where there's some blue control, but we do control St. Louis, the key city in all of Missouri. So anyway, that's the situation, guys. February 63. Let's also take a look here. I think we got a new policy here. So we've pretty much done almost all of the chapter 1 policies. I haven't done the Terra Factor print notes. I've held off on I don't want inflation. So we've been kind of trying to like get our credit rating up, and it's up to an A+, so it's good. It is a very good credit rating. As I understand that, part of that is because we haven't recruited a ton of soldiers. We've been a little bit lean in terms of the amount of soldiers that we've recruited, and so that's helped the economy churn along. We could do bounties to increase the amount of recruits. We don't really need to do that right now, so I'm holding off on that. I don't want to do conscriptions because that'll just make people not like me. I guess we could support Mexican intervention. That'll help our European relations by +15. European relations are pretty damn bad right now. Only 7% British intervention chance. 15% would be nice. It'll get that up, but it'll be nowhere near enough to actually get them to intervene. And then I guess we could do halt cotton trade, which, what does that do? Cotton demand in Europe +10%. European relations +10%. Public wealth drops by 5%. I don't understand why halting the cotton trade would make Europeans like us more. I suppose the argument is the Confederacy did it to try and lure the Europeans into the war. So between the halt cotton trade and the Mexico intervention, that'd give us 25. It would get us to about 32. Still nowhere near enough to get anyone to join us. And then we don't have any ability to do anything in chapter 3 of the policies at the moment. So what does print notes again do? So creates inflation, lowers public wealth by 10%. We get 50 million in newly printed notes each year. Does it hurt the credit rating? Actually, doesn't look like it does hurt the credit rating. So it gives us cash, but reduces the public wealth. Tariff Act, on the other hand, will make the Europeans like us less. Allows us to tariff up to 50%. It doesn't hurt public wealth. I don't know. I just don't know what to do right now. Because the supporting Mexican intervention will also make the Union national morale go up by 3, which we're trying to avoid because we want to win. We want to win the wars sooner rather than later. But I almost feel like I'm wasting time if I don't do something. I guess print notes. 10% is such a bad hit, though. Or halt cotton trade. It does increase cotton demand, but it limits how much we can export, and I don't know how much that'll hurt my economy. Bah! Fuck it. Support Mexican intervention. I don't care. Get mad, Union. We're going to take Philadelphia anyway. All right, what about with our projects? What can we do here with the money that we've set aside from different things? Market reforms, which will help the economy. Railroad construction, what'll this do? We've already got level 3. Construction of new railroads requires a lot of resources and labors. Finance the blah, blah, blah. Increase immigration of cheap manpower for labor. Each level of this project further increases the speed of construction of new railroad lines. So let's increase the speed of the construction of the stuff we're already doing. Okay. Subsidizing industry will further increase industrial productivity, which will probably be a good thing. What are the things like, but is there anything that we're trying to wait out here to, like, if I turn off assignable only, I mean, there's nothing here on the blue side that I want. French warships, I guess. French weapons we could do now in theory because we're doing the supporting the French intervention in Mexico. By the way, thank you for the follows, Myth, Rusted, and Lothar. Logistics reforms would probably not be a terrible idea. Prussian weapons could be fun if super ahistorical. Repeating rifles, It's like a fun thing to say we would do, but it also would really not. We're not in a good spot to be able to manufacture Sharps rifles, let alone repeaters. What does training manuals do? Increases the effectiveness of training. Well, actually, first, let's do this. Envoys increases the relations with European great powers. So we'll do that. We can do it twice, 3 times, 4 times. I have so much blue money. Wow. That improves British intervention 22%. So that went from 7 to 22. So we got it up by 15%. And then we'll get the 15 for the Mexican intervention, which will push it to 37%. Then we could do the whole European continent, which would get it to 47%. And then who knows where we'll be at. We might be able to send more envoys. I think we'll do railroad construction as well, I think. So that'll speed along the construction that we're already working on. I'm tempted to do infrastructure reform because it'll increase transport capacity of all the nation's important infrastructure points. So I think that would be a good thing to do. We're going to hold off on farm mechanization for the moment. What does Cotton is King do? Improves relations with European nations. What does this do? Implement a policy of using cotton as a tool to maintain good relations with the European powers. The very large European textile industry needs steady flow of southern cotton. So what does this actually do, though? Is this just like spend money to improve relations, or does it do anything economically? It doesn't say. Cotton is king. Cotton is king. Give me that. 4 more percent. We're up to 26. And then, I guess subsidizing industry is important. But I'd rather save up and do the infrastructure reforms. Industry is important from like a making weapons efficiently perspective. But we could actually instead, we could do, oh, this is industry too. So weapons production, I'm assuming just increases efficiency of weapons. Weapons aren't really a problem for me right now, though. Like I've got weapons, I've got recruits. Cavalry Reform 2 does what? Horse artillery? Okay. Artillery is the only thing where I'm like a little bit short. Let's do the cast iron artillery. That'll give me Napoleons I can make. And we'll hold off on doing anything else right now, I think. Market reform will help the nation's markets. The alternative is banks. Yeah, I'll do market reform. We'll see how it impacts our finances. Meanwhile, I do think we want to raise a few more troops. First off, I don't love that Richmond is not guarded. On the flip side, I don't want Washington, D.C. to just like fold because it's not guarded. Maybe we raise some new troops here. I just don't know what I want to do here. New independent corps. Virginia. We don't have enough troops to do a Virginia corps. Fuck. I guess we can just rail it up. So we will do a... Let's do an Alabama corps. Zolkoffer can be the commander. We'll add a new group. It should be like a division, right? Maybe we just need to raise an independent brigade. All right, let's raise some Alabama boys. 2,200 men recruits. Whitnall's division with Pryor's brigade. confused here. Okay. We will do a couple of Alabama brigades. I don't want to like over recruit and waste a ton of money. But I do need more troops to help guard Richmond, to help other things. So we'll do a battery of artillery. All right, so these guys, let's give them weapons. We just recently constructed, well, we got a whole bunch of Enfield rifle muskets, so we'll just give them that. We'll standardize them. Field rifle muskets, mixed muskets. And then our artillery situation's pretty poor. Oh no, we did construct some 10-pound Parrots. So, and we have 51 James rifles, which I think we mostly captured from the Federals, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but whatever. So how many guns here? 12 and 12? 2 batteries of 12? That's pretty solid. All right, so that'll give Zolkoff a total of 18,000 men in this independent corps. We will bring him north to Richmond. We'll probably leave one of the divisions to garrison Richmond, send the other division to join Longstreet or something like that. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take about 2 to 3 weeks. Oh, God, in some cases over a month. But 2 to 3 weeks for most of the infantry to be ready. And there's the Army of Alabama. Oh, God, they're way down there. All right, well, let's get them up to Richmond. They can finish their recruiting there. Shouldn't take long to rail non-existent. Like, it's Zolkoffer's the only one. One man of 18,000. All right. So we'll do that. Also, let's raise at least another division on the Mississippi. What's Johnson's makeup look like? So Johnson has 2 divisions of 3 brigades each. Let's give him a 3rd division. And I'm largely ignoring the brigade commanders. We'll just see how well the AI assigns these guys. Arkansas they're the closest. So we could make this an Arkansas division. Have 3 Arkansas units here. 2 weeks, 16 days. And then 1 battery of artillery. They're going to have to be James rifles, though, because I don't think I have enough left of the Parrots. Got plenty of James rifles, though. Should probably also replace, like, some of the howitzers with James rifles, right? I would think the James rifles would be better. Not a big howitzer fan. Okay. So give these guys... we've got so many smoothbore Springfields. Mississippi's, Enfields. I guess we'll give this division Enfields. I think we've got enough guns for them. Just enough. Okay. So that'll be another division. That'll be 7,000 men joining Johnson's force, giving him about 23,000. We'll leave Porterfield as is. I know he's only got 13,000, but he's also kind of isolated, and he's probably going to just stay at St. Louis. So we'll see about that. And then Wolford is the cavalry with Johnson. Currently, we've got about 3,000 men. Let's give him 1 more brigade. Arkansas boys. Jackson. William Jackson. What cavalry weapons do we have to give you? Enfield musketoons, is that it? They're not great, but they're better than mixed weapons. I really need more cavalry in the east. Probably, anyway. Okay. So that should buff out the Army of the West. It'll give Johnson 25,000 men. That'll give him a better chance of resisting along the Mississippi without cannibalizing the Army of Tennessee. Did I get a new mic? I sound bassier. No. Titus, is it bad? Do I need to adjust it? I haven't changed any settings. Maybe the mic placement's different. All right. Longstreet. Because you're so far out there and kind of on your own. You've already got four. That's a big ass core. But yeah, I think we'll give him another division. Good. Glad you like it. All right, do we have any West Virginia troops left? Because they'd be the closest. We can raise one brigade of West Virginia troops to join Longstreet. And then I guess we've got enough South Carolina. I know I said it was going to be like, let's not raise too many troops. It might torpedo our economy. And I'm like, troops, more men. Hypocrite. We'll do a small North Carolina brigade, 1,500 men. So Cobb's division will be a little undersized at 6,000 men. Springfield rifled muskets. He's going to have a mixed complement of weapons. It feels very Confederate. Fayettevilles are probably our best option. Okay. How's the artillery here? James rifles, Parrots. Good. Howitzers. Howitzers for everyone. Damn you. Damn your impertinence. I don't really have enough other weapons, do I? We do have some Napoleons we can outfit this unit with. Can we merge these guys? I think that's going to be too many guns. It'd be cool if you could, like, just do part of the unit. In any event, Napoleons. There's only 4 guns here. So I bet we could do this. Let's see, can we give these guys Napoleons too? So these are like 2 small batteries of 6 and 4 guns. And then we can merge them. Yeah. All right, so now we've got 20 Napoleons in these 2 batteries, I think. Or is it just... Sometimes the UI like gets stuck, I feel like. Ah, what am I doing? I don't think I did anything. Okay. James, Parrot. All right, so here we did. We merged these guys, so there's 10 guns here. Now there's 8 guns here. We'll go ahead and give them some James rifles. And then let's raise another battery under Magruder. Some new artillery. Got enough Virginia boys to raise a battery of artillery there. We've got howitzers, which I hate, or 12-pound field guns, which are worse. I guess the 12-pound field guns are obsolescent, so we'll do the 24-pound howitzers. God, I hate them so much. Okay. Where's Van Dorn anyway? Oh, he's with the Army Command. Okay. All right, so Longstreet now is going to have 23,000 men. And, you know, let's just do like 1 independent cavalry unit with him too. Can be, Kentucky's probably the closest. We'll do a 2,500 man cavalry brigade independent to work directly under Longstreet with Enfield musketoons. Might as well just create like Longstreet's basically the Valley Army at this point, but with way more men. In any event, 26,000 men under Longstreet. That'll bring the Army of Northern Virginia up to a grand total of 80,000 men. We're nearing the total strength of the peak of the Army of Northern Virginia. In terms of my strategy here, Deadpool, so I'm going to use Longstreet to hold off these two corps on the left flank if they try and, you know, move south to guard my left flank. And then while we do that, we are going to take the 1st, 2nd Corps of the Army of Northern Virginia and the headquarters. We're going to advance on Philadelphia. This is the new federal capital. We've already taken D.C. If we take Philadelphia and knock it out of the war, federal national morale being what it is, it will drop very close. And I'm assuming with the battles we'll have to fight to do that, it will probably drop to the point where they surrender and the war ends. So my goal to ending the war is to take Philadelphia. I could be wrong on some of those assumptions, but that is my goal. We will leave about 10,000 men to garrison D.C. We're going to bring about 10,000 men up to garrison Richmond so they don't like sneak in behind us. And then we'll also take about an additional 8,000 soldiers that we're raising and add them to the northern push. We'll see how big some of these battles get, though, because if the Federals are really raising 100,000 troops, we might be in some trouble. Meanwhile, in the West, I have a two-pronged strategy. The first is going to be to hold the Army of the West with Johnson's corps of about 30,000 men along the Mississippi River to stop any southern push. And then I'm going to take Pemberton's corps of about 13,000 men to hold the left flank of the Army of Tennessee. 40,000 men under the other two corps in the Army of Tennessee will push north into central Kentucky and see if we can make for where's the city? Frankfort or Lexington? Is Lexington the capital of Kentucky? Anyway, we want to conquer Kentucky. And so I think having a small force hold the flank while the main force moves up to engage these troops in central Kentucky may give us a chance to succeed there, because taking Kentucky can also be really good to pushing Union morale down. So in order to do that, we have to capture Louisville. So that's where we've got to get to up here, Louisville. We also have to defeat these armies here as well. I'm hoping that maybe they'll just withdraw to deal with my push north. So maybe they'll pull out of Kentucky altogether. We've already successfully taken Missouri, and it's joined the Confederacy somewhere in here, but it did. So that's the strategy here. So with the troops that we're raising, Confederacy has 182,000 men fielded. Major General Longstreet is the commander of the armies of the Confederacy. What? Since when? Lol. So someone tell me how this makes sense. Longstreet, a corps commander, reporting to Beauregard in this order of battle, is the army commander. I guess they're technically both major generals. Can I promote him? I don't think we have the rank of lieutenant general open yet. Also, like, his commander ratings aren't great. And if you promote him early, it will... Whatever. His leadership, administration, and cunning dropped a little bit, but he's now the lieutenant general, because why the hell wouldn't he be commanding the Army of Northern Virginia? And that should make him the commander of the Confederate armies, but I guess we'll see. He's our first lieutenant general, by the way. Taking D.C. was moderately difficult, I would say. I mean, it took a bit. It probably would be much harder if we hadn't done the 1861 campaign, where all the armies start much smaller. All right, so we'll see if the Federals move. Oh, they are moving before us. How many men are in the Second Corps? Shit. Second Corps, only 8,500 men. Yes, please come after Pemberton. I will fight you. Go get him, Pemberton. I know you're technically in winter quarters, but... Oh no, they're gonna go that way. Where are they going? They're going on frickin'... What the hell are they? They just like went down there and then came back? And then withdrew? Okay. Our Alabama Jackson Selma rail line is open. Good for us. What the fuck was that? Like, oh, we're going to take boats down to Nashville. Oh, shit. Nashville's heavily defended. We're going to pull back. Okay. Second Corps is withdrawn in the face of our troops. So they decided not to fight us there. Okay. How many men are here? So the Army of the Ohio, 4,500. 8,000 in the Second Corps. I feel like there's another army under there I can't see. Department of Ohio or something. All right. Well, they tricked Pemberton into moving. He's still got good readiness, though. Also, railway completed. That's good for the economy. Also good for transporting units. Ooh, First Corps into green, so that's good. Let's take a quick look and see where we're at. I think we spent most of our industry subsidies. Maybe not. Looks like we still have 4 million in industry subsidies. So the Alabama... Was it Jackson Selma? This is the line that just opened. I thought it was something different. Or at least I thought there was more money there. Is it Jackson Selma? Yeah, this is the line. 200K in revenue? That's it? I thought it was like millions. Or maybe it just hasn't gotten going yet. Tax revenue of Arkansas to Memphis. Plus 5.2 million. This one, I feel like, which one would be better for military? Because we're coming up on, we're not too far away from having enough money to fund another rail line. Georgia, Savannah, Tallahassee is kind of the interior of the Confederacy. That one would probably be pretty lucrative economically. Arkansas, Memphis would probably be more useful militarily if we ever get pushed back that far south. New Orleans, Tallahassee would be the richest. This would be like a Gulf Coast rail line. But that one we are quite a bit away from having enough money to do. I feel like Little Rock, Memphis is what I'll do. Anyway, we moved like 2 days and then we stopped and started blabbing again. So let's get going again. All right, so Longstreet moved. He's no longer ready, probably because he moved in the winter. Magruder's working toward green. Of course, Robert E. Lee is the best of the Corps commanders here in terms of getting his army ready outside of Longstreet. Him and Longstreet. Beauregard, you kind of suck. Where's the army coming up from? I don't know why you'd have slow winter movement when it's via rail. Also, like, how many frickin' snowstorms are like holding up your trains down there? All right, now they're moving good. All right, Army of Alabama is now at Richmond. Does it slow down the recruitment time at all? No, not at all. All right, that's cool. They like snuck down the river behind me. Well, shit. Okay. Let's give those guns to the Army of Tennessee then, if we need to. Howitzers. No. 20-pound parrots. Howitzers. No. 20-pound parrots. Okay, let's take these 2 wings of troops. What do we have here anyway? The First Corps, 23,000 men. I think they're part of the Army of Tennessee. And then 12,000 men of the Army of Mississippi. That's nothing, guys. We got you. We got you. Assuming I move coordinated. Sometimes these icons suck. There we go. Are they down in Corinth? What the fuck? What? They don't have any troops down here, right? Like, it's just some weird quirk of the way the control works, I hope. Some of the zones of control in this game, a little weird. This also, it makes it look like they're starving. All right, boys, you should be moving. Looks like you are. Pemberton's Corps got looped into this fight somehow. Okay, so we're going to have a fight north up here with Pemberton first. So 2nd Corps, 8,500 men fighting with Pemberton against 13,000. They have possibly another 9,000 in reinforcements. I honestly think Pemberton can take these guys. I don't want to mess up the right and left wings movement against the Army of Mississippi. So I'm just going to gamble that Pemberton's 12,000 is going to be better than anything the Federals have against us, so we're going to fight that battle. Okay, boys, so we are about to fight the Battle of Dover Ferry. We've got 8,000 Federals initially. We know more are coming. We are apparently on the defensive of this game, this battle. Defend your position. Carver's Bay is our objective to defend. We've got 2 divisions of troops and 1 of artillery, I think. Federals, I'm assuming, are going to come on the map up on the upper right near Apostle Hill. I'm going to head them off. This is a weird looking map. Like, it looks kind of open. I don't really want to defend all the way on the southern end of this map and give them time for all of their reinforcements to arrive. I'd rather rush to engage them first. So we will deploy these troops in line of battle. Actually, successive lines might actually be better from a marching perspective. North, we can deploy them. Artillery in the back. Bonham's Corps here. Attack columns. What is this, Napoleonics? What do we have attack columns for? All right. I don't know where the Federals are, but I don't want to defend. So let's go find them. I don't have any cavalry either, which would make it easier to find them. But I'm pretty sure they're going to be up here to the top right, because that's where the little blue indicator is on the map. Sometimes that's wrong, but usually it's pretty accurate. So let's go find them, boys. Deploy the artillery near Amy and speed things along. I'm hoping this is a pretty straightforward and easy fight. But it's Major General John Pemberton. Nothing's ever easy for him. The hero of the Confederacy. There they are. Oh, shit. Okay, so we have troops coming down the road. Federal cavalry. Cobb's Brigade, engage. And at long range. Huger's division leading the way. Brigadier General Benjamin Huger. He has active initiative. He is renowned. I mean, his stats look pretty decent, actually. God, it's all snowy. Looks like they've got some horse artillery coming up. 25 guns. It's quite a few. But we're just going to throw this infantry up here and engage these Federal cavalry. Hopefully they don't have repeaters. Took one volley and instantly decided to shift their line. Looks like there's The artillery's firing while moving forward. I'm skeptical of that. And I guess you're going to engage the artillery in the open then? The horse artillery? Maybe you'll rout them. I don't want to take any canister fire or anything like that. I don't know how effective horse artillery is. Oh, they're coming back. They went into the woods and looks like they might be charging me. Well, and they're dismounting. Meanwhile, Iron's brigade's coming up. It looks like we're largely routing the horse artillery. Maybe we'll capture some guns, although I can't raise any horse artillery batteries yet myself. My other divisions are still coming up the road. I don't see any other federal troops yet. Humberton, this is your time. Cobb is losing some casualties. He's taken a few. Once Hiron is extending the line here, he's going to get into action, and the cavalry is going to melt. Anderson's brigade. Go over here on the left. Don't march through the lines like that. Advance. Alright. First cavalry is being driven back, over 200 casualties already. Yuger. Or Yugi. Yugi? Weird. Okay. Thank you for the update, or info. Alright, we've got a brigade of infantry coming up here. Remember, we do outnumber this initial federal force quite handily. About almost 50%. More than 50%, so they probably don't have a ton of manpower to draw on it. Advance while firing, Anderson. Advance through the lines. Alright, first battery is taking more casualties. First cavalry is taking considerable casualties. Division's coming up. Turn this into a meeting engagement. Some of these guys in green jackets. I forgot how I clad some of my troops. Maybe it's gray. It's hard to tell. Oh, they've got mixed muskets. I've got units with mixed muskets still? What the fuck am I doing? Terrible commander. They've got 2 brigades of infantry here. Stacked up. They actually have an opportunity to outnumber me on the front line until I get the 2nd division up. They're extending their line to the 2nd brigade over here. I think the only artillery they have is the horse artillery. Can these guns see anything? Doesn't look like it. Alright, so advance the guns. Action. Anderson is... Alright, so Cobb took about 100 casualties. That's not nothing. Alright, skirmishers. What do you think you're doing? Probably be better off just ordering these guys to hold their position. They still got orders to advance down the road. Anyway, those skirmishers decided they were going to be dumb. Anderson's losing a few men here. Federals are in a wood, so that does give them some cover. They're casualties right now. 650 to 380. Okay, so they're definitely favoring this. But it's kind of a congested fight up on the front line. Hiron's losing quite a few men, over 200 casualties. We're going to move Kite up through his line, maybe give him a bit of a break, although I don't love that Hiron got Lorenz's and Kite has mixed muskets. How many shit-ass weapons do my troops have in this one? This is what happens when you run helter-skelter straight into the enemy. Remember then. Keep your boys moving. He's a good administrator. He's a backward leader, so that's not great. And cautious. Right, so Anderson's boys and Pyron's boys are starting to lose some morale here, probably because their commander doesn't have great leadership, I would guess. So skip through those lines and take the enemy fire. Oh, Pyron is breaking. Well, that might change things real quick here. These guys are fighting the first battle, too. Alright, so we got rid of those skirmishers. Artillery's still taking forever to come up. One of them has bad morale. Right flank brigade is really lost. Anderson, can you withdraw without panicking? Can you just fall back? Claim your staple. This is a clusterfuck of a front line. Over to the right. Casualties no longer really favor us. Just slightly. Get your damn men into position, boys. Right. Pyron, you should be able to rally here. You have not lost too many men. It is your first battle. What? It's a snowstorm, by the way, and 10 degrees. I thought the weather looked better than that. The interesting thing is, even if we lose this battle, it doesn't really materially affect the front line here in Kentucky, in the sense that the bulk of the Army of Tennessee is still moving west against an inferior force. And this doesn't, you know, the core that's under Pemberton's kind of advanced in the first place. So I don't think it matters too much if we lose. Switched over to a minor defeat. Our casualties are ticking up much faster than the enemy's. Pemberton sucks. Pemberton sucks. Everybody remember that Pemberton sucks. Right, so Anderson actually fell back in good order. Good for him. This artillery, B's artillery, is in action. Alright, nice volley from Kite. Just routed the artillery, I think. And Wadey is panicked. So I'm trying to rally Pyron. Overall morale for the army is probably not great. We've had 2 brigades routed. I think we're going to lose this brigade on the right. They're mixed muskets. I can't imagine that's going over well. Also, the enemy has more infantry there than we, or more guns than we do there. We didn't even rout the Federal cavalry yet. What are you guys doing? Charge. Now it's back to a minor victory. Although we are losing more men than the enemy. Where are you going? I guess you advanced into cover. That might have been smart. How about Wharton, you move your troops forward at the double, perhaps? Because Heat's brigade is just up here flanked all on its own, and they're goddamn rookies. I guess everybody in this army is rookies. I didn't realize that. Pretty much. Well, these guys broke, so that's going to be another... Rally, boys, rally. It's going to hurt us. Alright, so we've got troops on the line now with good weapons. Trying to advance these 2 brigades simultaneously. That's about 4,100 men. What do the Federals even have left? We've got about 6,800. Are we pulling back? Still claims we've got a minor victory going, by the way. Despite all these routed units. We've got 2 batteries of artillery which appear to be firing, or at least one of them was. We'll move Anderson's brigade up on the flank, see if they can fight again. Their morale is stable. We can get 2,000 nice weapons onto the Federal flank. That may change things. Ferry's just as his native state, Mississippi. Good to know. Yeah. Pemberton not fighting so well yet. This is also a snowstorm, which hurts movement and morale and things like that. Also, it hurts visibility pretty considerably. We fought a battle in a snowstorm. I want to say last time out, it was a goddamn clusterfuck. Better weapons. Anderson's moving up on the flank. I think they might be moving up to try and take these guns. Maybe? It's hard to tell, but they seem to be just marching right into our gunfire with this lead brigade. Orton is taking quite a few casualties, though. Don't know how long they'll be able to hold up. They could have also just been advancing into this wooded X. Do they have a commander bonus? They do not. Where is their commander? Hey, Bonham, how about you get over here and, like, give your men a little morale boost? Give me that commander bonus. Man, he's got a narrow modifier. He must not be very good, but there the commander bonus just popped in. Anderson, under these boys' flank. Almost all the fire is being directed on Gordon's brigade. We don't really have any more reserves. All of our brigades of infantry pretty much broke already. We have 2 brigades that are trying to rally, but it's only 9 in the morning, so they're not going to rally before the fight is over. So we'll see how long Wharton can hold. Try to advance Anderson a little bit more into their flank. We are actually pretty close to a victory. You can see this little ticker is moving far to the right. I think that's because they have such a smaller force. They've already lost over 20% of their force here in terms of casualties. But another routed brigade will go a long way to reversing that. Okay. Should be advancing while firing. Here he is. Second Brigade, I can't imagine will take much more. Oh, there goes Wharton. Well, you guys did good. I mean, you took a quarter of your force as casualties. It's hard to be too upset about that. Granted, the Federal Brigade's doing better, but assuming all of this enemy fire is going to switch down to Cobb's Brigade, which sucks because they have bad weapons. Same with Anderson's Brigade is going to have to hopefully finish. If we can rout the 2nd Brigade here, I think the battle is won. And actually, we're getting bonuses from holding the objective way in the southern part of the map, so the Federals may start... There we go. The enemy's retreating. Also, this is considered a major victory because they've lost over a quarter of their force. Yeah, I don't like Pemberton either. They're withdrawing. We'll get... I think that entire battery of their troops is on. We'll see if they actually pull back. Looks like Wade's brigade got a boost of morale, possibly, because we're winning. I think we're going to have some disgraced commanders, though, in this one. Pemberton's definitely going to... if I was monitoring this, like, it might be a victory, but you're going to be getting some flack for it because it wasn't the prettiest thing. For outnumbering the enemy as much as you did and to have as many of your brigades rout. And frankly, they had like the worst casualty ratio of any of the fights we've done in quite a while. Not in terms of percentages, but like we barely, you know, outpunched them. Now, part of that is weaponry. A lot of our troops have inferior weapons. We'll have to remedy that after this battle, but whatever, you know? They're up to 2,400 casualties out of a force of 8,500 men. I mean, that's all. We're approaching 30% casualties. And we'll get the morale bonus for major victories, so it's hard to be too upset. Bring our artillery up, pound these guys at close range. Who's wounded? Cobb is wounded. Oh, Cobb did decent. I think. I'll give it a pretty good grade for the fight. And the Federals, usually when the game says you've lost, they don't put up as much of a sort of a rear guard fight as they are here, but credit to them. They're fighting tenaciously. I sped things along a bit. 40% casualties. Now, if we lose another 5% or 8%, I guess, then it's no longer a major victory, but I don't think that's likely. Yeah, I'm impressed at how fiercely the Federals fought this one. I don't know that I've ever seen a battle with this high of a casualty percentage. %. The first cavalry is wiped out. 681 are imprisoned. 53% of their force casualties. Oh my god. Your army is victorious. Okay, well, the end result there might get Pemberton off the hook. 2,600 of their 6,500 infantry, so more than a third of their infantry are casualties. An entire brigade of cavalry, 1,500 men wiped out, over 600 of them captured. That's 4,400 casualties out of 8,000 men fielded. And it ends up being double, largely because of those 700 almost soldiers that surrendered at the end there. We did lose 2 of our 40 guns. We lost 2,300 of our 12,000 infantry. But I guess Pemberton, you did better. With that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up here. I hope you enjoyed our next episode of Grand Tactician, the Civil War. And until next time, as always, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching. I'm out.